5 pounds. His professional record, 26 victories with 19 KOs against 10 defeats and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, from Houston, Texas, introducing Mike White. And his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the Gronk gold colors with burgundy trim. He weighs an even 225 pounds. He has held the WBO title in the light heavyweight division and successfully defended it 9 times. His overall professional record is 26-0, all by knockout victory. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the top-ranked heavyweights in the world today, from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, Michael Moore.
You're the chief second?
Yes, sir.
You're the chief second, Manny? Okay, gentlemen, I've given your instructions prior to this fight in your respective dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Give me complete cooperation. Give me a clean fight. Good luck.
Well, there you saw it. You saw the height difference as they stood and faced each other in the center of the ring. It was a training problem for both fighters because White had trouble finding southpaws to spar against, and Moore, to say the least, had trouble finding 6-foot 10-inch guys to spar against.
And White has come out unusually positive and aggressive in the fights I've seen him in the past.
And White is the aggressor in the early moments. You didn't expect that. He is known as a defensive fighter who likes to let his opponent come to him. He's wearing tennis shoes, George Foreman. Do you suppose his feet are too big for regular boxing shoes?
You would think so, but Lennox Lewis' feet are actually bigger, and he had a pair of boxing shoes on.
Yeah, maybe White just doesn't have the resources to get a hold of boxing shoes that big. Lewis's, of course, may be custom made.
Both are about 15 and a half and 15.
Moore lands a solid left, and Mike White goes down less than a minute into the fight. There's that left hand you talked about.
Well, 7 of his previous knockouts have been with his left hand, while everybody was worrying about the right hand.
He's hurt. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, maybe White was looking for the right, too. I don't think White wanted to go on.
I thought I saw a spotted owl fly out of his hair there, George. Seeing that timber fall down, does that make it an environmental disaster if he's finished here?
I can tell you this. Moore is a good puncher, but he isn't the best finisher in the world. He can knock you down, but it's not the easy things to finish these big guys off.
Well, now White is going to grab him around the shoulders and make it awfully hard for Moore to punch up. This is the time for Moore to go to the body, right, George?
Man, that's right, go to the body, and at the same time, the big guy should hold on. Hold on.
So we're all watching the right hand. It was the perfect left cross that put Mike White on the canvas. And Moore continues to land the left.
If he survives this round, I can tell you Moore may have a rough night on his hand. The big guys always had everything but inspiration.
Remember,
parents brought him up to be everything but aggressive.
Well, he was a Jehovah's Witness as a child. Quite a personality transformation for a Jehovah's Witness to become an aggressive boxer.
But I can tell you this, he's got all the tools, the proper reach, the proper size, but inspiration comes in odd sizes. Now, he should say to himself, Moore has done everything in the world to me, and I'm still standing.
No, that's not what he's saying, though, George. He's saying, somebody get me out of here. Mike White is again in serious trouble as round 1 comes to a close.
Let him go. Is the ring big enough for him to fall into?
I can tell you.
Yeah, you think of how loose those ropes are. He can lean all the way back into us, guys, without hitting the canvas.
I can tell you, White is saved by his reach and grabbing and clawing and holding on. If he had not that, it would have been over.
Mike, look at him. You all right?
He's all right.
Look at me. You want to go back out there?
Yeah. See how that right hand kept way low, where it came straight over with it.
And White is standing in an awkward position. Soft pause. Perfect position.
Worried about that right hand. Here you see him come underneath with that right hand. Remember how I said how he would reposition his feet to get leverage in close so that
4 rounds to 1 and 1 even.
I see it like that myself, but then I never could have been a good judge. But Riddick Bowe has tasted all of the power Evander Holyfield has now. He's not scared. He realizes that his corner cannot help him. Look, you're a big boy. You got to fight your way out of this, and he's willing to do it.
Bowe going back to sticking the jab, and when he does, he backs Evander up. It was that way last year. It's that way again. Right hand for Holyfield. Stuns Bowe, and Bowe comes back fighting this time and lands a right hand on Holyfield's chin.
Holyfield isn't being smart. He hits a good right hand. He hits him with a good right hand, and he stands there and waits to see what he's going to do. You got to hit and move out of the way if you want to win that kind of style, with that style.
Bowe taking command right now with the jab.
Someone has said,
and somebody in a parachute has just landed on the edge of the ring, has been pulled away by security guards. The fight has been brought to a halt. There's a massive melee at ringside as this fellow with a motorized parachute has landed right on top of spectators and officials at ringside. He's in the midst of a mass of security guards now. Rock Newman, Riddick Bowe's manager, was right there. This is a monumental disaster. Right now, police are filing by me at ringside and grabbing this gentleman who has created a monstrosity of an interruption in the bout. His parachute has caught itself up on a row of ring lights. Now we're going to take a look at an earlier shot of the parachutist before he came down. There he was on the left of the ring. And let's see what happened as he approached ringside. There it is. He hung himself up right on the lights, as you see there, and his body landed on the ring apron right on top of a variety of people.
Well, this is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen at a prize fight. And I've seen a few bizarre things.
Dangerous about this, it wasn't only a parachute. He's got some motorized
Exactly.
stand on there.
It's a heavy,
up a lot of people.
It's a heavy capsule under that parachute with a motorized attachment. There could have been a propeller there for all we know, George. And if nobody has been hurt, it will be a near miracle.
I've seen blood on one hand out there.
Rock Newman, Bowe's manager, went nuts. It could be the best thing to happen to Riddick Bowe if there's a 10 or 20-minute delay, as now seems
You're
possible.
right. It may be an angel out of the sky.
You see Bowe covering up to stay warm.
For Riddick Bowe.
Well, they're going to work on his cuts right now.
Just when you think you've seen everything, you know you haven't, and there'll be more crazy stuff to follow.
And it was already a bizarre night as the result of the fighting that went past the bell for about 10 seconds at the end of round 4. Here's what was happening in the ring at the time that the parachutist landed. You'll see, there he is, entering at the left side. And you see people backing away and trying to avoid the capsule and the motorized contraption attached to it. Here's a look at him much, much earlier this evening from our blimp coverage. As this took place, we're told that our blimp cameraman tried to alert us to the possibility that this was going to happen. That's why he was zooming in and out, as you can see here. And there it is. He targeted the ring and came right down. Well, this guy is going to wind up in the Slammer in Vegas tonight, and with doggone good reason.
What charges, I wonder?
What charges?
Yeah.
doing an outrageous thing to get some publicity for himself.
Oh, okay.
Lighting company turning off lights now to try to prevent the possibility of fire. If Evander Holyfield is thinking about this at all, he has to rue the fact that it happened at a time when he was in such good position in the fight, or so it seemed. And here's another look, guys. We're going to see it one more time. This was incredibly dangerous. I've got to say that it's put a jolt through us because he landed about 7 or 8 feet away from us on the ring apron. And this is how he descended toward the small disaster which has now taken place at ringside in round 7 of a heavyweight championship fight. You can see how our cameraman zoomed in and out, attempting to warn our production people in the truck of the possibility this would happen.
And I have just gotten word that Riddick Bowe's wife has just fainted at ringside. She was even closer to the parachutists than we are.
She's up and around now, but she's awful shaken.
And she is, gentlemen, she's in the early stages of her 4th pregnancy as Riddick looks forward to the birth of his 4th child. And we only hope that Judy will be okay. We're going to stop the action now to take a look back at the effects of what became a 20-minute delay. A look at how the melee was brought under control eventually by Las Vegas police, only after the parachutist had been momentarily attacked by some at ringside, perhaps a couple of officials, and bystanders and spectators near where he landed. Eventually, the police got the situation under control. They're the ones who informed Riddick Bowe that his wife Judy had fainted.
Time up, Steve. You're missing it with that right hand because you're looping it. Throw it straight, you'll catch it. Real relax. How you feel? Real relax. Check this out. Show him that, just like we worked on in the locker room. Show him that you have a step on it. Okay? Step to the right, fire right. Real relax, Mike. You heard him?
Obviously, Tyson has to get inside. Here he comes, trying to get inside. But as soon as he does, look at the lot. He's going to hold on for dear life because he's been hurt.
What are you doing?
You fucking do this.
You're going to disgrace yourself. He quit. Andrew, what are you doing? Last second, the bell's going to ring.
He's trying to get it. Look at this. Al Servo says, I can't believe you're doing this.
And he said it a little more colorfully than that, Steve. I'm telling you right now, Servo's excited. He's upset. And I'll tell you what, it was a better round considering the first round was on his. But you won't know until you taste the power of a puncher like a Tyson, a puncher like a Tua. What you have inside you, and now we know Andrew Gulati will not deal with it. Will not deal with it well.
And you hear the crowd reacting.
I said I'd be real surprised if this got into round 4, and I was not wrong.
Somebody just threw something in the ring that splattered all over us. The
cup of soda.
The Gulati corner is just distraught with this decision by their man, Andrew Gulati. He wants to get the heck out of here. He's coming near us now, gets away. People are throwing things at him.
They're throwing popcorn, soda, beer, everything that they can.
Unbelievable sight here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Gulati being escorted off as fans throw things at him after he quits at the end of 2 rounds. Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness. Well, let's hope this doesn't really get out of hand now. It's getting very ugly here now as they hustle him out into the back area.
Listen, I'll tell you what. You want to go down and go out on your shield? Okay, but I cannot buy quitting. Well, it's still okay. The second round was a better round for Gulati. He got to Mike a little bit, tied him up, was starting to do what he wanted to do, get to the 4th or 5th.
Put my leg back on.
An outrageous display of cowardice by Andrew Gulati.
Go.
Let's get it over to Jim Gray.
Mike has decided to leave the ring. We're going to go back into the locker room and try and speak with him then. Ice is pouring out. There's been a lot of coins thrown into the ring, and I just think that he wants to leave before the situation becomes any worse. Steve, we'll run back to the locker room and see what happens there.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. As Mike Tyson makes his exit, heading back towards the dressing room.
One of the cameramen just came over and whispered in my ear that right after the first round, he asked his corner twice, please stop this fight. I don't want to go out there anymore. Please stop this fight.
And Al Cerro kept screaming at him, you're going to win this fight. You're going to win this fight. And Galata got up on the stool to get Cerro's
styles
attention.
make fights. Galata never had a chance to win this fight. He doesn't have the defensive skills or the real agile mobility necessary to offset what Mike's doing, and he never hit him clean.
I agree with you there, but do you take your shot? Gutless, heartless, you take a gutless approach like that?
No, you take your shot. Listen,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is the business we've chosen. You don't cry about it after the fact.
We still haven't had the official announcement. The enigmatic career of Andrew Galata rages on. Let's go over to Jimmy Lennon Jr. now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been ended at the beginning of round number 3. Galata refusing to enter the combat at round 3. Referee in charge, Frank Garza, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, Iron Mike Tyson.
So there's the official announcement by Jimmy Lennon Jr. to a chorus of boos here at the Palace. Fans just irate at what they just saw. Andrew Galata quitting at the beginning of round 3. He refused to come out. He was being urged to change his mind by his corner, led by Al Cerro, his trainer. Despite that urging, he said, that's it, I don't want to go anymore.
It was a little more than an urging, it was a command.
Well, he told him to go out there and fight, and he refused. Let's go back and hear exactly what happened between rounds.
Fight on that lap, please. Show that right fucking hand. You hear? Stop the fight. Yeah, huh? Stop the fight. Don't you dare. Don't you fucking do dare, you cocksucker. You're gonna win this fight. You're gonna win this fight. Wash his mouth, please. Come on, fast. Take a deep breath. Stop the fight. Shut up! Don't talk like that. Stop it. Stop it. Don't talk like that. Stop it. Come on, you fuck you. You're gonna fight and you're gonna win this fight. You're gonna win this fight. You ain't quitting. You're gonna win this fight. Cut it out. Stop it, Andre. Now pull his people out there. The fuck is the matter with you? Come on. Stop it, Andre, please. Come on, Andrew. Come on. Give me the motherfucking there. Stay there. I don't have a daisy, no. Hey, you stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Stop it, Andre. Stop it. Stop it. What are you doing? Don't you fucking do this. You're going to disgrace yourself.
You got to get in your corner, Andrew. What? He quit. What are you doing? Last second, the bell's going to ring.
Get out there. Get out there.
Oh, no.
You do it. Get out there.
Unbelievable animated graphic stuff from trainer Al Cerro. Bobby Ches, what do you make of that wild sequence? I mean, have you ever seen anything like this before?
Steve, I've never seen a fight between a trainer and a fighter to continue fighting where the trainer wants him to, and he doesn't want to. He's either hurt, or he's scared, or he's a whole lot of both.
Galata actually wanted to stop the fight after round 1 and again after round 2. Let's go to Bill Boggs in the dressing room.
Okay, we're here in Andrew Galata's dressing room. We got trainer Al Cerro, promoter Ray Shaw, but let's talk to the man himself. Mr. Galata, Andrew, the crowd is stunned. They can't believe it. What happened?
First of all, it wasn't my day today, but I got a headbutt. A referee didn't respond pretty much well as he's supposed to.
But you're a warrior, Andrew. You're a fighter. But you're a fighter that the crowd pays.
I got dizziness in my head. That's it.
What made you dizzy? Was it that first knockdown? What about the knockdown? Did you really recover from that knockdown at the end of the first round?
Actually, I was just sleep. You know, I hasn't been hit very well. You know, just I was sleep on the down, and that's it. I stood up.
What do you say to the people who are driving home now, the people who spent the $49.95 for the pay-per-view, the people who were rooting for you, your fans, and boxing fans all over the world, at this great and grave disappointment to the sport?
Listen, boxing is a very, very difficult sport, you know. And I'm sorry for all my fans, you know, who count on me, you know. I just did not have my day today.
Andrew, do you want to fight again? Do you want to continue with the sport you've been in since a very young man, since a young teenager?
I have to give myself very, very heavy thought, you know, about it. So I don't know. I have a reputation as a dirty fighter, you know, and this particular reason, you know, somebody headbutt me, you know, and just, you know, and nobody took care of this, you know. He didn't have hard warning, you know.
All right, a very distraught and upset Andrew Golota, as are most people ringside. Steve, we're going to go back to you right now.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Another look at it, Evander just kind of dives. There it is, right there. Puts his head down and comes straight in and hits Mike right in the corner of his right eye. Bad luck.
Dr. Ira Trocky telling Tyson he's fine, but that may be wishful thinking. But before the bell for round 3, Tyson comes out barefoot, forgot his mouthpiece.
He's anxious to get this on. I think he's blown the first 2 rounds, and he better get started.
Round 2, very bad for Tyson with that bad cut. Pushed away by Holyfield. Again, showing his strength. A sense of urgency here by Tyson.
And that's the old Tyson we know.
That's the Mike Tyson that came. That's the Mike Tyson that needed to come.
A ferocious Mike Tyson, bobbing and weaving.
If he can keep that up for the whole round, he can even this thing out as far as intentions. He's got to show he's got it. He's got to bring it.
He has to reverse what's going on here. Momentum still in the Evander.
And the crowd really picking up now.
All right, let's go back. Come on. Let him go, buddy. Come on.
A frantic pace. Listen. The crowd is turning. Many yelling Tyson. A swing and a miss with a straight right by Holyfield. Good duck under move by Tyson.
But Tyson's still throwing more right hands than he's normally used to doing over the top. He has seen something in the tapes. Not effective yet, but he is working on it.
Will we see his lethal left hook soon? Mike Tyson. A lot of wrestling early in round 3.
Nice right hand by Mike. He is trying to get that right hand home.
They seemingly are relying on one big shot.
There you see Evander put that arm around Mike's left hook arm again. Walking him off. Doesn't want to get hit with that bomb on the inside.
Ooh, a low blow by Holyfield with the left hook, and Bill Gray gives him an airful. Back comes Tyson on the belt. Tyson with a short left hook to the head of Holyfield. A right hand by Mike Tyson to the head of Holyfield, a straight right.
The left hook got his attention, then he came back with a nice 1-2, a left hook and a right hand, and Holyfield looked like he was stunned.
But what a chin by Holyfield.
Good stiff jab.
That's the jab Mike didn't have in the first fight.
What happened here?
He got bit, I think.
Evander Holyfield, look out, he's pushed right here, above us by Tyson.
He's got bit in the ear.
Oh my goodness, he's got a bloody right ear. Holyfield bit by a dirty Mike Tyson.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Well, first he had a parachute drop on him, now he had a heavyweight bind him.
When did we get that on tape?
Biting Holyfield in the right ear. What a reaction.
Well, and that hurts like hell, but he certainly had a big bite. And that's a dangerous bite.
Oh, disgusting tactics here by Mike Tyson. He did it. He did it. We understand 1 point has been deducted from Tyson for that vicious exhibition.
They could disqualify him, but they've taken a point, that's for sure. Oh, here comes the commissioner now. They got to figure it out.
Well, this is the doctor and the commissioner both taking a look at it.
He bit his ear. He's out. Disqualified. He bit his ear. I can see the bite mark.
He bit his ear, he's out.
Tony Mark Ratner, head of the commission.
Well, let me ask the doc. He bit his ear. Can he go on?
Yes.
Okay. It's going to be a 2-point deduction. The fight will go on. 2 point.
Mills Lane was ready to stop the fight for Holyfield.
The fight will go on.
Overruled by Slipamansky, the doctor, who said
Mills Lane is a take charge kind of guy. He's a judge. He'll take no nonsense.
He bullshit. It's going to cost him 2 points. 2 points. 2 points off here. He bit his ear. 2 points off. 2.
Can you believe this?
Oh, boy, this is getting stranger and stranger. We're getting to see strange things happen in boxing.
Should be disqualified for that. You can't be considered like that.
We go back to the change of referees.
I wonder how this would have played in Mitch Halpern's eyes.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a thought, Bobby. You got a big, tough judge here.
Major controversy here in round 3. A very angry Evander Holyfield now. A left hook.
You know, it's funny. Mike was having his best round.
He did it again. Mike Tyson has beaten Evander Holyfield for the second time, and it is all-out war.
I saw that one. That was right clear. It's a miracle he didn't get bit back.
I'll tell you what, this is unbelievable.
Let's take 2 looks at that one, at that bite. Now here's the bite. Keep your eye on Mike. See, Mike has just, see, look at him. You can see it. You can see it. There it is.
I can't believe what I'm seeing, fellas.
Bobby.
They're going in real slow motion. Mike gets in a headlock. And look at this. He just reaches in and bites him.
It's over. It's over. During that replay, Mills Lane signaling that it's over. I think they've just about had enough. Tyson showing desperation in fighting Holyfield 2 times. Look out now. More fighting in the ring after the end of the fight. Tyson's trying to get at Holyfield again, I believe. It is complete bedlam, and Tyson is just taking swipes at anybody in front of him.
The police are coming in by the squad here, and they're still fighting in there.
It's a fiasco in the ring. People are jumping above us, trying to get in there. There's the security trying to hold Tyson back.
This is the most unbelievable spectacle I have ever seen. The first one was an amazing feat. The second one is disastrous.
It's just impossible to conceive.
Tyson's bodyguard fighting with the security. The crowd in stunned disbelief here.
I'm beginning more and more to believe Tyson is a confused individual. He is.
I think it goes beyond confused, Bertie. I think it goes beyond confused. I can't understand it. Mike was having his best round. He was getting to Evander. He hit him with some great shots. The right hand got through the hook. Don't know what happened. Let's take a look at the second bite. Now he'd already bitten the man once.
It's impossible to believe this happened again, but it did. Just keep your eyes on Mike's mouth as much as you can, because you will see it. Now you see he's got his hand, he's got it right there. He's got his mouth on it. See it? See it? It's a shark bite right there. That is incredible. Look at the reaction again from Holyfield. He can't believe it. He got the second one on the other side.
You know what? If I were Evander, I would have kicked him. I don't know what held him back.
Let's
look at it again. Watch, Mike. Come inside. This is the second bite of the round. Right on Evander's ear.
It's like Dracula. time. I've never seen anything like this in boxing.
I can't understand it. I'm sure there will be suspensions and bans galore.
What a wild scene here at the MGM Grand. Just a shame that it has to come to a conclusion in this fashion. Mike Tyson resorting to biting tactics, and he still wants more as he's being held back by Richie Giacchetti. Just an awful display here by Tyson.
I'm nothing short of shocked, Steve. I am speechless. I have no response for what I've just witnessed.
Mike Tyson has apparently lost his reason, his rationale. He seems possessed right now. He cannot be brought under control. It is just bedlam above us. People stepping on our table, trying to break into the clear. You can see, of course, what's going on in the ring.
Mike is still being restrained.
Has Holyfield been ushered out of the ring? I can't even see him.
Holyfield just came past us, Steve. He is out of the ring. He is clear.
Let's go over to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Steve Albert. Steve, thank you very much. I have Mills Lane. Mills, why did you stop the fight? Because of the first bite on the ear or the second?
The second one. The first one was a foul. I took 2 points. The doctor said he could continue. So I let it continue. And he beat him on the other ear. I told him, I said, one more time like that, that's it. You're gone. I told them both. Knocked the rough stuff up. And he bit him again. I said, that's it. You're gone.
As Holyfield leaves the ring, the condition of the ear, could he have continued? And did you disqualify him because of the foul or because he couldn't continue?
Oh, no, I disqualified Tyson for the second foul. I told him, do not do that again. If you do, you're gone.
So he could have continued. The physical condition of Evander Holyfield was such a view that he could have continued had he not disqualified Tyson.
Well, I didn't ask the doctor. I never reached that point. I wasn't going to ask the doctor. That wasn't a question. That kind of foul would be... You got to take a position sometime, somewhere. That was it.
Pandemonium breaking out here as Mike Tyson is leaving the ring, and we'll continue with Mills Lang. As you see, people getting knocked over. Our camera goes down. Mills, let me continue here. Mike Tyson's people and Tyson are going to say, I'm sure you didn't call a foul on the headbutt, which caused the eye, and this could have been a retaliation by Tyson.
I called it a butt.
But you didn't take a point.
An unintentional butt, you don't take a point. An unintentional butt, unless it occurs a second time. An unintentional butt, if the fight stops, you go to the school.
Go ahead. All right, Evander Holyfield. 2 bites on each side. 1 piece is missing out of your plastic surgeon said. Your reaction?
Well, first of all, I had to give praise to the Lord. You know, Jesus, Lord, you know, he's still the champ. He still get the glory. And, you know, the things that happened, it didn't have to happen. You know, I was beating him, and, you know, he spit out of my mouthpiece and bit me in the ear.
Is that the act of a crazed man? Because to beat you twice, I mean, to bite you twice is a little crazy.
Well, you know, the whole thing is that, you know, in the first one, you know, my corner, you know, told me to just keep cool. And, I thought about that, you know, a distraction would happen, and his prophets told me to, just breathe deep and just concentrate on Jesus. Then I went back out there again, and I caught him with good shots, and he bit my ear on purpose again.
But how can he bite your ear with a mouthpiece? Spit it out and then
he spit the mouthpiece out. He spit the mouthpiece out and bit me on the ear. On the last time, you know, the whole thing is that, you know, really, his only chance that he thought he could is just to go. My whole thing is that, you know, the whole thing is my ear bleeding, and this guy continued to foul. You know, I'm thankful that we have a referee like Neil Lane see the situation that this thing is intention. And, you know, it's just amazing when...
Would this rule out a rematch? It's stupid to ask you right now for a rematch. This guy went and lost his marbles. Is a rematch possible, or are you so mad you wouldn't even think about that?
Well, you know, the whole thing is that, you know, I have to concentrate and I have to think, you know, I have to think about the situation, because the big thing is to you know, a rules and regulation, mandatory things, but the rules, you got to understand when a person deliberately bites you constantly and trying to break my arm, because, you know, in the corner, he's just doing illegal tactics. middle lanes, break. The whole thing is that it's just an easy way to get out of the fight, the foul, because you're going to get disqualified instead of fighting through. That don't show no courage whatsoever. Everybody know how to get out of the fight. All you have to do is foul. You'll get yourself out. Then you can say, well, he didn't beat me.
Would you say this is an act of a desperate man? Would you say he was desperate in there? Is that the word you think, to cause a guy to do something so unusual?
Well, the whole thing is that, I truly believe that fear itself calls people to do the easiest thing, the quickest thing to get out. The whole thing is that we're in a fight already. So why do you have to bite somebody? If you feel that you can whoop me, why you can't whoop me with the gloves on? Well, this is a boxing match. This is not a rumble. When the fight is over, then you get brave and you really want to fight. You had a chance to fight. Why you got to bite me on my ear? The whole thing is that it's not real. The whole thing is that I just give praise to the Lord that it's not worse than the ear. I thought my ear had fell off.
Well, your plastic surgeon here says a piece is missing out of your ear, which means you'll have to have a plastic repair, and either ear, since human bites are so dangerous, have to be taken care of tonight at the hospital.
I look forward to the hospital. Good thing I got a doctor.
All right, good. Remarkable. Let's go to Gray.
Right now, let's go back over to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you, Steve. I'm now joined by Mike Tyson. Mike, first of all, let's go in chronological order. The headbutt in the second round, which opened the gash on your eye. Tell us about that first, please.
He butted me in the first round, but then he butted me again in the second round. Then as soon as he butted me, I watched him. He had me holding, and he looked right at me, and I saw him, and he was going for, and he kept going flying. He butted me again. He kept going down and coming up, and he charged into me. And no one warned him. No one took any points for him. What am I to do? This is my career. I can't continue getting butted like that. I got children to raise, and this guy keeps butting me, trying to cut me and get me stopped on cut. I got to retaliate.
Now, immediately you stopped. You stopped fighting immediately right there, and you turned to Mills Wayne, and you said what? And the result was he did nothing. But what did you say to Mills right at that time?
I don't remember what I said. I told him that he butted me, but I know I complained about being butted, and we complained about the first fight. Listen, Holyfield is not the tough warrior everyone says he is. He got little nicks on him there, and he quit. I got an eye. I got one eye. I got one eye. He's not impaired. He got ears. I got one eye. Big deal. If he take one, I got another one. I'm ready to fight. He didn't want to fight. I'm ready to fight him right now.
Mills Lane stopped the fight. It wasn't Holyfield who stopped the fight.
Oh, he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight.
Let me ask.
We don't know what Mills did.
Don't put nothing on Mills. Well, Mills said he stopped the fight. You bit him. Was that a retaliation for the eye when you bit him in his ear?
Regardless of what I did, he butted me for 2 fights.
But you got to address it, Mike. Why did you bite him?
No, I did address it. I addressed it in the ring.
Why did you do that, though, Mike? I mean, was that the proper response?
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I got to go home. My kids are going to be scared of me. Look at me, man.
What are you going to do now in terms of your career, Mike? Well, you continue to fight.
10th and final round getting ready to begin for Richard the Alien Grant with the blonde hair against the Harlem Hammer, James Butler. Butler has not been able to drop the hammer on Grant so far. Okay, let's see what Mike Ortega has here. Hit on the break, please. Listen to me. Done a good job as Mike.
Don't retaliate.
Well, Teddy, I don't think it comes as a surprise to you when I make this next observation, but I think Butler needs a knockout to win.
He needed it before this fight started. And we more or less said that. This has gone according to plan.
The thing that I've been impressed the most about in this fight is that for the most part, for 98% of the time, Grant has stayed with his game plan. Enough movement, enough jabs, enough in and out, and enough defense.
Grant had the style going for him in this fight. He knew what he did well. He knew what Butler did well. He also had a little confidence going, having beaten Butler early in their career.
Back in 1997, the third pro bout for both. You know, when you look at a guy like Grant, who's 13-8 as a pro, you say to yourself, not disciplined to stick with his style. That's why he gets caught. That's why he loses. Tonight, so far, he's pretty much stayed with his game plan.
Smart move by Grant, not only to stop and punch, but to go around the shoulder of Butler, not straight back, not in the firing zone, so to speak. You go around the shoulder of the man, turn on him.
Let him out. Let him out.
Don't give him that firing lane by going straight back. Butler's looking for that firing lane. If you're Grant, you have to worry about two things now. The first bomb. The left hook probably coming at you. Don't give that to Butler. Do not go straight back. And this second punch. Do not let go of your attention once you make the first miss. There will be a second following.
One final rule you should know: cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including this last round, in case Butler does land one of his big shots.
There's that left hook. And it half landed. But with 10 seconds left to go, Grant may be able to survive.
Well, he left himself open, got tagged. Butler too wild, though. And there's the bell to end it.
Too little, too late.
Richard Grant, coming off a 9-month layoff, fought nearly a perfect fight against James Butler. Does he get the win? We'll find out after this timeout. The total punches, Grant much busier, doubled up Butler in the connects in this fight. Teddy Atlas's scorecard reads as follows: 97-93 for Grant. I had it 99-92 for Grant. Now the cards that matter, held by Michael Buffer.
When we go to the scorecards, Tommy Kazmarek scores about 96-94. Steve Weisheld has it 97-93. That's the same score from Melvina Lathan, 97-93. All for the winner by unanimous decision, Richard the Alien Grant.
So Butler's number 8 ranking is going to take a hit. Richard Grant in the mild upset, a unanimous decision victory.
Oh, look at this.
Butler. Whoa! Butler just ran across the ring.
Butler just went over there and sucker punched and knocked out Grant.
Oh, boy.
Terrible. And the new commissioner, Ray Kelly, will do something very, very enforceful here.
You want to talk about Zab Judah and his antics, losing some money in a suspension. James Butler should never be allowed in the ring again.
Absolutely.
Never. That's assault. That is assault. He should be arrested on the spot. He should be arrested right on the spot. That is assault and battery.
This will be the first test for the new commissioner, Ray Kelly, and I know that he will handle this the right way.
What a punk, James Butler. And the police should come in here and arrest him. The fight was over. The competition was over. He should be arrested. That is blatant assault.
That is disgraceful. Disgraceful behavior.
Handcuff him. Oh, Richard Grant. Our prayers are with you. Unbelievable. Fight's a perfect fight. And now Butler is acting up. We're going to keep it right here. He should be arrested. But I don't know. There's no other reason for it, Teddy.
That is unbelievable. And that was a punch without a glove on. His glove had been removed already.
Jimmy Birchfield, the trainer, the promoter, is getting into it. And now Richard Grant, we're going to keep it right here. The doctors are looking at him. He has been knocked out cold. And with Ray Kelly here, James Butler should be taken out of here in handcuffs. He should be arrested. That is unbelievable. The Harlem Hammer should be in the slammer tonight.
That was, as you said, you couldn't say it better, a despicable, cowardly act. A man who wasn't expecting anything. A man who had done his job. The chance to throw punches was in the prior 10 rounds. Not now when the man was defenseless.
James Butler should be thrown in jail. Oh, Richard Grant.
Look at the blood there. From that
probably has a broken jaw. I don't want to speculate here, but this is unbelievable.
Butler punches hard enough with a glove on. That punch was delivered with no glove on and with an unsuspecting man standing there, relaxed, looking to congratulate Butler.
get another black eye for boxing. And it's people like James Butler in boxing that give it a black eye. Let's watch it again, ladies and gentlemen. Grant is the winner. Watch this. Butler comes across, and he's expecting a handshake. He's expecting a handshake.
Butler puts his arm out to say good fight. Throw him in jail and throw away the key.
Please.
And in a night like tonight, when there was a tribute paid to the many heroes that lost their life on September 11th, to have a cowardly act like that, acted out in the ring, makes it even more deplorable.
And I pray that we here at ESPN never give James Butler another dime. We never put that man on the air again. I never want to see him on one of our fights again, because that is despicable. That is not sportsmanship. That is cowardly. Richard Grant getting to his senses. Ray Kelly right now, the new commissioner of the New York State Athletic Commission, is right there. He saw everything happen. And now all the policemen, remember, there are 500 policemen, firemen, and emergency workers, guests of the promoter, sitting in the upper deck. They were brought here as guests of Lou DiBella because money was here to raise funds, and they are starting to chant, "Lock him up, lock him up." And it looks like Richard Grant is okay. Now Ray Kelly is coming over into the corner where Butler is. They have uniformed officers there. And there is absolutely no excuse for what has transpired here tonight. James Butler is a disgrace to the sport. He's a disgrace to New Yorkers. He's a disgrace to the human race with that event. And now we're going to take a look at it one more time. Richard Grant, unanimous decision win. He turns to Butler to shake his hand, congratulate him. Putting his arm out. Boom! Right there. He was a coward and he couldn't get him during the fight, and he sucker punched him right there. And now Richard Grant is up on his own feet. Now they're going to escort Butler out of here. And they got him. The police are right there. They're going to escort him out. Ray Kelly, the commissioner, is right behind him. He is being taken out, and he should be thrown in a paddy wagon right now. And fortunately, Richard Grant is okay. They will not need the stretcher. And Richard Grant, unanimous decision victory. And what a horrible way to sign off tonight. On a night of such goodwill, helping out the World Trade Center Relief Fund, it ends in a nightmare. But fortunately for Richard Grant, he appears to be okay as he beats James Butler. Hopefully the last we'll ever see of James Butler, at least on our network. For Teddy Atlas, Max Kellerman, Brian Kenny. Bob Papa saying so long. Edge NFL matchup coming up next. James Butler with the cowardly move of the night in defeat.
It takes a lot of confidence to put out that much punching power and continue to do it.
He scored a lot of measurable for the right hand and then missed it. Another low blow. This is a bad one. And Wayne Kelly is going to have to give Bo a timeout. And there's the key for the timeout. There's a point deducted from each of the three scorecards. That point goes against Galata. This was a bad low blow foul.
You got 5 minutes. And it's bad because he's virtually won the round. There's 19 seconds left in the round, and now it's going to be an even round.
Well, and it's terrible for Galata because he's been in control of the fight.
Took a point away. But it doesn't do Bo much good either, I got to tell you.
There it is. George, can Bo come back from that?
Well, Bo never should have laid all the way down like that. You lay down. Bo seems to take one step out of the way. He should take his feet along with him. Otherwise, his body is right there for this Galata to hit him.
Galata lands another left hook inside. Bo tries to come over the top with the right and misses. Galata goes back to the body. He's done too little of that in this round. Galata starting to fall in love with his ability to hammer Bo on top. And now another low blow. And let's see if Wayne Kelly takes another point. And he does. That's the second point deducted from the scorecards against Galata.
Is that clear?
do it again.
So now Bo with his second time out of the fight due to low blows. And Galata has lost the second point, and Harold wasn't square guard. They are near silence as the seventh round begins. Obviously, it's a heavily pro-Bo crowd, and now Galata goes to a neutral corner as Kelly once again gives Bo timeout. Time in this time, beginning of the seventh round.
Riddick said to us the other day, why do I have to train so hard to fight a bum? He's finding out right now.
Not only that, he's finding out how it feels to be hit below the belt. And he's done a lot of that in his career.
That's right. This is not exactly the world's cleanest fighter in there getting hit below the belt. He's had his own fouls. Bo tentatively trying to establish something. Galata just keeps beating him to the punch. Now Bo goes back to the jab, but he's tasted so many power punches, George, that he's not aggressive enough to step in there hard anymore.
And he can't seem to take one of Galata's double jabs. As soon as he double jabs it, Bo stands still.
Galata right on the belt line with that right hand, and Kelly was watching all the way. There's a left right on the belt line. Galata's going to have to be careful about this stuff. Bo landed an uppercut, finally. 1 point. Is he taking a third point for low blow? That is the third time that he's deducted a point for low blow.
So now, I've never seen that before, and we're only in the 7th round.
And now he's going to talk to Bo about holding and hitting.
And that was the second time in the fight that Bo did that.
Now the tape is coming loose on Galato's glove.
There was another one of those body punches right on the belt line. Galata is flirting with disqualification here in a fight that he seems to be winning big against the guy called by many the best heavyweight active in the division. Giant right hand over the top by Galata again.
All because Riddick Bowe is standing still, underestimating the reach, not miscalculating how long this guy's arms are.
I heard him in Bo's corner saying you can't stand right in front of him, but he keeps standing right in front of him, and he keeps paying the price. And Galata loaded a right hand up there and looked for a one-punch knockout and just missed.
Whenever Galata throws the combination, the things go good for him.
He's just hammering Bo in close. Just hammering him. That was another low blow. Down goes Bo, and that's it.
That's it. Great.
It's a disqualification.
It's time for someone to understand that you're going to have to keep the rules in this business.
And now there's a fight in the ring that's been started by some of Bo's handlers who went after Lou Duva, and somebody's going to get hurt in there. Somebody's going to get hurt. And there are more people trying to go in. And
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. They'll stop it. Don't get back. Go back where you'll see the tongue. Get on back.
My microphone got knocked off my head.
Don't do it, son. Don't do
There's
that.
danger all over the place here. This is a very desperate situation. Lou Duva's in trouble. Lou Duva's in trouble on the ring mat. Duva's down and
don't do it. I know you want to, but they're going to cool it out.
Duva trying to help his dad out. This is just an awful-looking situation in there.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Wait a minute. It'll be okay.
George Foreman trying to be the peacemaker. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing, guys? What are you going to accomplish in there?
Look.
Now the fight has spread off the ring mat. George Foreman doing his best to stop it. Two more guys going into the ring.
do. Things are beginning to quiet down now. I'm under the impression that a lot of Bo's friends or would-be friends may have stormed the ring in protest over those low blows, the blows that may indeed have saved the fight, and now it's poor Bo, and now the riot in the ring flares up again. Meanwhile, we're all wondering where Lou Duva is and how he is.
His wife is right there on that ring with her children.
Well, I don't know what you're seeing on camera because I don't have a monitor. But I can say that in 21 years of reporting as a sports reporter and a news anchor, I've never been involved in a more personally terrifying situation than that one. This ring has been stormed by thugs and hooligans. Obviously, emotions were flowing high on both sides. We're very concerned about the status of Lou Duva, who appeared to be in extremely dire physical straits. He was taken away on a stretcher. In fact, Duva's being taken out on a gurney right now, and we hope that they can get it through the crowd. And it appears to us that Lou is moving his head. Yes, in fact, he's lifting his head up off the gurney, so he's obviously conscious. That's a very good sign. If you follow boxing, you know that Lou has had coronary difficulties within the past year. It's of extreme importance to his life that they get him out of there. We're told that police are being knocked down at ringside, and that police have been thrown out of the ring by some of the thugs who are in there conducting this ongoing riot. It happened right in front of us on our side of the ring, and it appeared to begin when somebody raced across the ring from Bo's corner area into the Galata corner area, apparently for the purpose of attacking Galata after the last low blow and the disqualification. And now the riot has spread to the far side of the ring, and I see some people who are jumping on top of people at ringside and beating people with chairs. Larry, what do you see down there?
Well, I don't see anything except a lot of energy, bodies being thrown around, people watching, trying to see what's, who these last of the hooligans are who insist on imposing themselves on what is supposed to be organized mayhem. We have disorganized mayhem in the ring at this moment.
Yeah. Well, this kind of scene took place after the first Bo Holyfield fight as well. And maybe it's just a coincidence that the same fighter was involved, but it's a black mark on the sport. This has been an extremely ugly scene so far, and it continues at ringside, where now the riot has moved down to floor level. Now, we're told that Riddick Bowe is still a part of that crowd down there, and they're trying to escort Bowe to the locker room, and they've gotten him into the tunnel area. There's a melee of people surrounding Riddick, and now he's into the tunnel area and out of harm's way. Where's Galata? Does anybody know where Galata is?
I can't see Galata at all. I don't, basically I'm standing here and watching like everybody else and seeing about 10% of what really is going on. I find myself wondering what Riddick Bowe was doing down in there. Galata was smart enough to get out of here, although I assume he was the target of some of these angry Bowe fans. But they ought to be, I don't know, thankful for what happened, because Bowe looked like he was on his way to losing the fight, to losing his stature and status in prize fighting up until the time that Galata just couldn't control that left hand, George.
And I think it was really an accident. He's fighting a taller guy. He's not accustomed to it. His waist is went real high. It wasn't intentional. He's winning the fight. There are a lot of people upset about the way that thing went. Yeah. And I'm sorry to have to show off like this.
Well, I'll tell you.
Luke Duva's a nice man. He shouldn't have to
Hey, George,
yes.
I want to thank you for helping to keep us safe. Obviously, our viewers didn't see it, but George Foreman protected Larry Merchant and me from a lot of harm there at ringside. He kept at least 2 or 3 guys out of the ring by himself, and I pin a big Medal of Honor on George tonight. He did a big service for Larry and me and the rest around us at ringside, and for a lot of people who were over on our side of the ring. Thank you, George.
for your forceful and honorable presence tonight.
The only thing I know that may have been comparable, but in a different situation, and it's flaring up again now behind us. Another riot. Guys jumping over
these
chairs.
riots and fights are breaking out at ringside with no police in sight. Impossible to imagine what's going to be done to restore order here, but right now there are no police in sight as young men of all descriptions go hard against each other at ringside. Well, in case you've just joined us, you're looking at the aftermath of an explosive and all too unfortunately explosive event.
Jim, I'm with Roger Bloodworth, who is a
all right, Larry, go ahead.
Andrew Galata. Roger, how did this start?
I think it started with an unintentional low blow. Andrew has a habit of looping his punches, and Bo kept pulling his head down. He hit Andrew behind the head 3 or 4 times, hit him a couple times low. It was only one time. I think they got scared.
But your fighter clearly was in the wrong for landing so many low blows. Don't you agree?
Bo was in the wrong, too, for landing behind the head and landing low blows. I'm not going to argue who started it. I'm not saying it's right. It happened. But this is a disgrace.
What happened with Lou? Was he hit or was it his heart?
Hit, but he grabbed his chest. In one round he did, in the second round, and I told him, not to come up anymore because I didn't know whether it was his heart or if somebody had thrown something or what it was. But I didn't want him up in the ring anymore because I didn't want him to get hurt.
All right. Other than this, what do you think of Galata's performance? What was he doing in there that frustrated?
Well, I think he was hitting him. He has a good jab. He's got good power. He clearly rocked Bo 2 or 3 times, had him going. And I think everything he was doing was frustrating. I think that's why Bo, I'm not saying he didn't get hit low, but I think he put on a little bit of an act. He could have got up.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, there's a part of the scene at ringside, and we'll do the best we can to sum up this calamitous occasion. Once again, Andrew Galata is disqualified. Riddick Bowe emerges without accepting the loss that he might have been headed toward had this fight not been marred by low blows. We'll be back to try to collect ourselves and see what's going on here. But first, let's look ahead to some upcoming programming here on HBO. You've seen apparently fireworks going on behind me. Many more of New York's finest have been rushed in off the streets of New York to try to bring order and control here in Madison Square Garden. Just to recap, through a long and eventful day, the possibility existed for several hours that this fight between Riddick Bowe and Andrew Galata might not take place because of a discrepancy, at least a discrepancy as Galata and his people saw it in the contract, which ultimately required him to fight 12 rounds instead of the 10 rounds that he believed he had agreed to fight. The situation was resolved apparently when $50,000 more were pushed Galata's way, so he came in tonight with those extra 50 grand in his jeans after a long day of stress to enter this big occasion in which he was given virtually no chance to beat Riddick Bowe. And yet, through the first 6 rounds, Galata dominated the action in the fight. And that dominance was marred only by the fact that Galata was repeatedly penalized for low blows, justifiably and correctly penalized for landing several brutal low blows during the fight. Wayne Kelly had deducted 3 points from Galata for low blows, each one an entirely proper deduction, giving Galata as many chances as he possibly could to stay in the fight. Finally, in the 7th round, as Galata battered Bowe up top, landing lefts and rights with abandon, he once again went downstairs and landed yet another crushing low blow. And at that moment, again, quite properly in our view, referee Wayne Kelly stopped the fight, disqualified Galata, and awarded victory to Bowe. At that moment also, a riot broke out as some of the men from Bowe's corner moved across the ring toward a confrontation with Galata and the people around him. And we're going to take a look at how all that transpired. Here's a look now at the events that finished the fight. Again, Galata looking to land up top. There's a left below the belt. It's the latest in a series of repeated low blows. And you see Kelly disqualifying Galata. And at this moment, as our overhead camera trained on Riddick in distress, men moved across the ring and began the confrontation with Galata that ultimately led to the riot in the ring and at ringside. A series of skirmishes which still have not been entirely brought under control. Now you can see there the silver-haired Lou Duva, Galata's trainer. And as we mentioned, he's been subject to a series of coronary events within the course of the past couple of years. Duva went down. You heard Roger Bloodworth, the co-trainer, saying that he was concerned about Lou's heart. And since that time, Duva is the one identifiable figure that we have seen taken from Madison Square Garden on a gurney. George Foreman joining me now. Big man, you okay?
Yeah, I'm really good, but I'm sorry about what happened for the people at home. Galata, Bo, they're really not totally responsible for what happened, but there was a lot of emotions out there, and it caused people to do a lot of things they're going to be sorry about tomorrow.
Was it the scariest situation you've ever seen at a prize fight, George?
I've seen these things happen before, and whenever you got fighters who are prone to hit behind the head and hit below the belt, it always causes situations like this. It just spreads throughout the whole crowd.
And you totally agreed with the disqualification at the moment that it came.
I really like the disqualification, but I'm certain that Galata could whip Bo. No doubt about it. He could have whipped him. He was whipping him easily, and but it should have been a disqualification because that's what can happen if it continues.
Well, let's hope, off the potential that Galata showed tonight, that he can learn to fight without fouling, because there's something there.
He is a great fighter. He doesn't need that in his career at all. Riddick Bowe, he's got to go back to school, and I mean in a big way, about
Riddick Bowe's taken a lot of accumulated punishment, too. Is it too early in his career, George, for that to become a factor in his life?
It can become a factor tonight, as a matter of fact. I'd like to see him come down to my ranch and help me herd some cows for a change.
All right. Thanks very much, George. We appreciate, once again, the protection you provided at ringside. All right. We're not going to be able to get any post-fight interviews in the locker rooms. We had hoped to do that, but for reasons that I'm sure you can understand, those interviews are not going to be available at this time. You'll have to wait until your morning papers to find out what parties on both sides had to say about the aftermath of this riot situation. Myself, I got a 16-year-old daughter in here somewhere, and I'm looking to be sure that she's safe. So right now, let's take you to a look at what's coming up immediately following tonight's...
The nose is terrible, but it also makes your eyes water. You can't see anything.
Samson Pua knows he's going to have to turn it up here in the fourth. Comes out for the fourth.
All the eyes from him, all the water from his eyes, I think, went all over his trunks. Samson Pua.
Well, now just sticking out the jab into the nose of Pua. Pua being handled in his corner by his father, John, who has trained his son. Samson was 4 years old. John, a former boxer himself, brought Samson into the gym. I believe that Dad set out to make Samson the heavyweight champion. Question is whether Samson wants it as bad.
Perhaps he just didn't realize he was going to get hit in the nose. Right in the schnoz.
Now Pua powering back. Oh, Rocky Galata. Galata could be going. Samson Pua with a dramatic turnaround. Galata in deep trouble. Pua banging away. Galata covering up halfway through the round. The crowd standing here. Did Galata appear as if he might have bitten Pua on the shoulder? Look at that welt under the eye of Galata.
And Pua is cut over the right eye. Blood dripping round. Galata is hurt.
Pua with a great power. Galata trying to maintain himself on his feet. Look at his face.
He better get his jab going. Pua is all over him, but as Pua punched himself out. Pua punched himself out.
And the crowd whipped into a frenzy. 2 standing 8 counts for Pua in the third. Galata wobbling all over the ring, able to continue to stand after that assault by Samson Pua. What a round.
What an explosion. The last round we saw the explosion from Galata. This round, Galata seeing that from Pua.
Great courage by Pua, who may have had his nose broken in the third, continued out here for the fourth round and rocking Galata all over the ring.
What a comeback.
up and step around this guy. Move a little bit, all right? You don't have to stand and go toe-to-toe. Move a little bit till your head clears. Use the jab. Stick it, all right? He threw his whole wad that round. Come on, turn him. All right?
How's your blood work?
Step around.
He thinks that everything is gone now from
Jab a
Pua.
little bit till you catch your breath.
I don't know if he can convince Galata, but when Galata wobbled, watch Galata's mouth. Does he actually try to take a chunk out of Paua's shoulder? We'll see if from this angle, there's Paua rocking Galata.
And it looks like a bite on the neck. And Paua trying to complain to the referee. Ed Cotton to bite in a professional boxing match, and that is, it's against the rules. He should be disqualified. The referee does not know, though. Eddie Cotton does not know, but here's a look at it. When Andrew Galata was hurt, he was out on his feet. He did everything he could to stay in there, and there he is doing what he could, and that was biting Samson Paua. But he bit so hard it drew blood.
And it may be... What about the blood on Alex Stewart's right eye?
And I have blood on my score sheet. And my shirt.
Two grotesque masks as we ready for round 10.
The guy walked and a good thing that it is only 10 for George.
The guy's dizzy. He walked. George, it's the doctor. Can you breathe out there? Dr. Hamaski's coming into the ring to examine George Foreman.
You all right, son?
The guy walked in the wrong corner. The guy walked in the wrong corner.
All right.
Okay, mouthpiece. Open your mouth wide. Hey, the guy walked in the wrong corner.
Look here.
Alex,
let your mind take over. This is your fight.
You're mine. Jamaica, you. Janelle, your wife, everything now.
Right in this fight. This for your baby.
Side to side.
I'll tell you, this one.
Okay, Richard.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. Both corners flogging their fighters like jockeys. In Stewart's corner, they're telling him this is everything for his family and his baby. And in Foreman's corner, Angelo is telling him that the doctor came into the wrong corner. Not his corner.
Harold, how do you have it scored?
Jim, 86-83, 5 rounds to 4, favor George Foreman. The difference in the fight is still a 3-point round in round 2 where George Foreman scored 2 knockdowns. I think it's going to kill Alex Stewart in the scoring.
You gave him a 10-7 round there. It's conceivable some of the judges gave him 10-8.
Correct. Could very well be.
I should tell you, I have it much closer.
It's one of the great legends in the history of boxing. It's extended over 24 years. Remember the little American flags in the ring in Mexico City in '68? The love affair began then. It extended all the way to Zaire in 1974 when Foreman lost to the biggest figure in the sport, Muhammad Ali. Then the 10-year retirement. Then the comeback. Then the championship fight with Holyfield. And now this.
I don't know why Stewart is not throwing more punches in this round. It's the last round of the fight. He should be flinging. He's allowing George to take the lead, throw the punches again.
Another low blow.
And that may cost George a point.
And Steele takes a point away.
In my opinion, that makes this a dead even fight. And if Stewart can win this round, I think that he may possibly get this decision.
A very tired Alex Stewart bending all the way over in front of us, heaving to try to catch his breath.
And Richard Steele is telling him, take his time, take his time.
Foreman staggers from corner to corner across the ring. Harold.
Say that a fighter who is hit with a low blow must continue after a reasonable amount of time. So Richard Steele can give him as much time as he needs to get ready, but Alex Stewart has to continue. He can't win on a low blow.
And here they come. The delay was no more than 30 to 45 seconds. Stewart with a left to the top of Foreman's head. And another, and another. Foreman lands a left. But George's punches have no snap now, Gil. He's just pawing in there.
Big right hand by Stewart. He has such a tired man in front of him now. He should really be getting off.
There's another mouthpiece on the canvas. Again, it belongs to Alex Stewart. Richard Steele.
George has no legs at all. He's fighting on hard alone.
And Stewart fights without a mouthpiece, and Steele shows no inclination to stop it one more time.
Last round, make it clean, make it clean.
If Joan Foreman is a woman of her word, you are looking at what might be the last 30 seconds of George Foreman's career.
Where'd you get all that? Right, come on, let's go.
Gentlemen, George Foreman is a popular figure. He did have 2 knockdowns in 1 round. He may very well get the decision. I gave the fight to Alex Stewart at 1 point.
I don't like the cup of plea. I scored the fight dead even. I gave Foreman a 2-point round and knockdowns. I think the point that Richard Steele took away from George in the last round made this a dead even fight.
And that leaves it to you, Harold.
Well, Jim, I've got it 5 rounds to 5, 94-93, favorite George Foreman. That 10-7 round in the second round, the 2 knockdowns on my scorecard killed Alex Stewart. He couldn't make it up. It was as simple as that. I gave Alex Stewart that extra point in round 10 when Steele pulled the point. It was a 10-8 round in the 10th, but still in all, George Foreman by 1 point, even in rounds.
So just for the sake of argument, gentlemen, among Harold Letterman, Larry Merchant, and Gil Clancy, we have at ringside a draw. Would a draw end George Foreman's career, Larry?
Very likely, because it would probably postpone any opportunity for him to get another shot at the title.
Is it even possible with a victory that he could get another shot?
Well, I don't think it sustains his argument, and it certainly won't sustain his argument against his wife.
And we are ready right now for a moment of drama, perhaps the culmination of a 24-year legend. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer to find out who won this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Thomas and Mack Center, by way of the Las Vegas Hilton, we go to the scorecards. But first, how about a round of applause for these 2 heavyweights in the ring here tonight. Here's the official scoring. Patricia Jarman scores the bout 94-94. Art Laurie scores the bout 94-93. And Dalby Shirley scores it 94-93 for the winner on a majority decision, Big George Foreman.
Cannot lose to Elijah Tillery, who is staring him down. Tillery has been around. He's gone through fits of inactivity, but he knows at the age of 34, a victory over Riddick Bowe does a few things to shake up his career.
And we saw in the earlier fight how emotion can hurt a fighter like Keely Thompson, who was so angry at Sean Bay Mitchell. Here's another case. Now, that if you can get your opponent out of his fight plan, it'll hurt a good fighter more than it will somebody who is not as good. So what Elijah Tillery is trying to do is bring Riddick Bowe down to his level.
Riddick Bowe feels that Tillery poses no threat whatsoever. Tillery, a boxer, great fighter, has a sparring partner, but has never been able to produce yet in the ring, although he comes in with a record of 23-4. His last fight was a year ago. He lost 10-rounder to Art Tucker, a man that Bowe took out in the 3rd round.
And in this opening round, look who is tense. Look who is tight, swinging, trying to put everything into their shots. Right here, Riddick is just trying to get into the rhythm of the fight. Get that left jab working, get all the muscles oiled up and greased and sweat flowing, and then bring a heavy power punch.
Bowe with a big reach advantage, utilizing that jab. Tries to make his opponent run into the big right.
But he also has a good left hook, and we saw an example of that when he fought Bruce Seldon. Took him out with the left hook.
When Riddick Bowe knocked out Art Tucker.
Oh, there's that right hand.
There it is, and Tillery. Bowe feels once Tillery is tagged, he will run and he will hold on. Bowe trying to do some quick work here in the first round. And there is the holding, but Bowe showing his strength, able to crack through those strong arms of Tillery. When Bowe beat Art Tucker, Tillery was on that card fighting Mike Dixon, and Bowe was watching the fight, and he said when Dixon had tagged Tillery, he saw Tillery, the heart was gone, and he was running. And now that's what Bowe's trying to do to Tillery here in the first. He has him hurt, he has him on the run, and he wants to put him away right here.
And look at Tillery trying to hold on, trying to survive, trying to last. This is what he has learned in all of his sparring of all these great fighters, these power punchers. In the gym, he's been able to hold on and last through, survive. For Riddick Bowe now, he's got to control his thoughts, put his punches together, and put him in there. Second warning for holding from Carl Milligan.
And he is likely to get more. Bowe has 26 wins, 23 knockouts, 9 of those in the first round. Going for double figures tonight. Was that a knockdown?
That was a left hook.
You cannot be saved by the bell. And then a fight broke out. Incredible conclusion to round number 1. Carl Milligan, the referee, they go at it again. There were still several seconds to go. It seemed like a long round. There's the bell, and now some extra work. Oh, a little kickboxing by Elijah Tillery. Bowe won't stand for that. Rock Newman, the manager of Riddick Bowe, and a tag team comes in, and Elijah Tillery does a 360, a spill out of the ring. Pandemonium in the ring at the end of round number 1. Elijah Tillery dumped off the apron, taken down by Rock Newman. And at this point, I believe Tillery has been disqualified from the fight. Why? I don't know. But at this point, we are led to believe that the fight is over. Just when it began, and the crowd is going crazy. Why stop this fight?
Referee Carl Milligan has got to keep control of the match.
Well, we originally had 2 co-features. We may turn out to have 3, 4, or 5 of them.
A lot of anger, a lot of frustration.
If you are
so close,
if you are knocked out of the ring, you have to get back in a certain amount of time. But Elijah Tillery had a little help in getting out of the ring. Plus, the bell had sounded. The round was over, and somebody in there has completely lost control of this one. Just when this was getting good. Why they would call it now is beyond me. All right, Eric Darian perhaps will be able to help sort us out in finding an answer. But I think
Lady.
an answer needs some answers.
Ladies.
Bizzare.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Carl Milligan has disqualified Principal Elijah Tillery with a flagrant kick. Therefore, the winner by disqualification and still undefeated and the brand new WBC Continental Heavyweight Champion, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe.
Now we may have a riot. The fans very upset, and understandably. They paid good money to come here to see a fight, and at this point, Sean, I haven't seen any reason to eliminate Elijah Tillery unless he had some words with the referee.
Elijah Tillery isn't the one that really started. It was Riddick Bowe that punched Elijah Tillery after the round.
And it was Rock Newman, the manager of Riddick Bowe, that, from our view, pulled him over the ring. The only thing that we could think of is Elijah Tillery kicking Riddick Bowe after the bell.
That was after the bell, and that was after Riddick had started a fight with him.
Well, we'll try to sort this thing out when we return. Riddick Bowe gets the win. The crowd, they do not believe what they have just seen. This fight was stopped at the end of one round. Elijah Tillery disqualified, we understand, because he attempted to kick Riddick Bowe. Now, this is the wild scene that ended the fight. About 30 seconds to go, 41 to be exact, and Riddick Bowe had stunned Elijah Tillery a little earlier. And right now, Elijah doing his famous hold. There is the referee, Carl Milligan, giving a second warning to Tillery for holding. Perhaps he also had that in mind, the tactics of Tillery. But Carl Milligan, little did he know what was in store.
Elijah Tillery was just trying to survive at this point. The hands up around the face, leaning backwards over the rope, and the left hook connects from Riddick Bowe. Now, this is where...
Now, you see the time there? Down. It should be over. Where's the bell? At this point, it should be over. They should be going back to their corners.
It was a very long round.
The bell was late.
Secondly, finally, when the bell rang, Elijah Tillery stuck his face out, and Riddick Bowe just hit it. And you see Rock Newman getting involved in this. Both of them almost falling over the ropes. So much emotion in a fight of this nature. Just to step away from the World Heavyweight Championship, and this man, Riddick Bowe, is so tense. He's so fired up for this fight. A very important match for Riddick Bowe.
So Riddick Bowe threw the first punch after the bell, but it was the kick that disqualified Tillery. We'll get the account right from the mouth of Riddick Bowe. When we main event, the victory goes to Riddick Bowe after one round. And Riddick, we've seen the tape several times now. What was your bird's eye view of what was going on?
Well, actually, I was just getting warmed up, and he was taunting me at the end of the round. So I just, kind of like pushed him. And then he just went like berserk and what have you, I would have accepted that, but he kicked me, and after that, I just lost him.
We understand that is why he was disqualified, because of the kick.
Well, I think he should learn to maintain his composure. I think after he got dropped with that left hook in the first round, I think he pretty much got upset, And once he got his head cleared a little bit, he realized he was in a fight, and so he kicked me.
You talk about maintaining composure, but looking at the tape, you were the one who threw the first fight after the bell.
That was after he kicked me. I pushed him.
Well, we're going to get another look.
After he kicked me,
All right, that remains to be seen. Let's take another look at the tape. This was the conclusion. He was holding on. He was warned twice already for holding. You had him in deep trouble here in the first round.
Right here, you see, he's taunting me.
Oh, there goes the left. The bell rang.
He kicked me and he punched me at the same time. Kicked me again. Well, he kicked me about 3 times, right? And then he got yoked. See? Kicked me 3 times. Chump.
And this is where your manager, Rock Newman, who's becoming a star here on USA, came in. Rock, what kind of a hold, and have you been working on that during practice sessions?
Absolutely not. I'm sorry that particular incident took place. Things got a little heated. I don't know what the hell Tillery thinks this is. He goes around kicking this guy, and I saw him intentionally try to kick him in the groin. We are a team. We are a family. We can't let those kind of things happen.
Rock and Riddick, why does something like this happen? Is it emotion?
I don't know. I guess he was hyped for the fight, and perhaps he really didn't know how to handle it. I told you guys earlier, he's starting to get some attention, and he really don't know how to handle it.
One thing you could say about
I think it showed today.
What about Riddick? I mean, your fight plan tonight, you were working terrifically in that first round, perfectly, and then at the end of the first round, you kind of let the emotion get to you.
Like I said, no, he was taunting me. I was mushing him, telling him to get out of my face, and then he kicked me, and that's when I lost him.
How much do you think this hurts you?
It don't hurt me at all. I have the belt, right?
It was, did it seem to be a long round to you? Because we had our clock back up there, and the round seemed to end, and it continued for, what, another 6-7 seconds before we heard the bell. Did you have any indication that it was long?
I didn't
Could you
pay
tell?
attention to the time.
Okay.
I'm just in the fight.
All right. Well, you hear different words. From that video, Riddick, looked like you threw the first punch after the bell, and that the kicks were towards the legs of Riddick
Bowe. He
Bowe.
was trying to kick me in the groin there.
All right. Well,
it wasn't a punch, it was a mush. It wasn't a punch.
Were you, let's take another look once again. This again, the closing seconds of this bizarre conclusion with Riddick Bowe in the white trunks. Elijah Tillery, they've been talking trash for several days. Now the bell rings.
So I just mushed him. I ain't try to punch him hard or anything like that. But he kicked me, and that's when I lost him when he did that.
Yep.
See that kick right there? Look at that kick right there.
Kick was high.
He put his foot on me. He keep his feet on the ground. He ain't have a son named Riddick Bowe kicking me.
Were you upset that they stopped the fight?
Oh, very much so. I wanted to continue. I would like to get this fella here a rematch if he can keep his feet on the ground.
I think I would still want to stay away from him if he's going to fight not according to the rules.
What would have happened there very clearly? Tillery was getting his butt kicked. And I wish they had let the fight go on. Riddick would have knocked him out cleanly. You know, he's a guy who came in town. He thought he didn't have anything at all to lose. He talked a lot of trash that he could never back up. He's a sparring partner. We gave him an opportunity. He's very unprofessional. Sorry the events happened that way. Riddick would have knocked him out clean.
Don King is at ringside. Speculation that you two are talking about a possible matchup with Mike Tyson. Can you elaborate on that?
My elaboration on that is to say that if Riddick Bowe were to fight Mike Tyson, it would be a fight that would be 20 times bigger than Holyfield versus something called Damiani.
All right, and Rock, will you be on the apron in a possible fight between Riddick and Tyson?
If Tyson would try to kick Riddick, I'd probably do the same thing.
All right. Rock Newman, certainly in the corner. He's the second man on this team with Riddick Bowe. We try to get the referee, Carl Milliken, here to talk to us about the conclusion. There's in the ring. It's a question of whether they will let this fight continue.
It's okay. It's not stopping his direct vision.
It's not stopping
as long as it doesn't close down over it, it's okay with me.
Okay.
Keep the left hand high.
Okay. About 5 minutes out, I got him, Cap. Okay.
In a situation like this, it really doesn't hurt your vision as far as...
And going to his corner, see, corner man takes care of it. The doctor will move in, and we will listen in.
And here's where a good cornerman comes in handy. What you want to do is get as much time on that eye as possible. They're taking their time getting in the ring over there in his corner. He's losing maybe 20 seconds plus. In this last round, they didn't get the ice pack in there until the last 10 seconds. Try to get every second you can in that between the rounds, that 1 minute period of time.
He may have won this round, but he's in jeopardy of having the fight stopped at the end of it. Now let's go into the corner with Lewis Curtis.
Now let's see how fast his cornerman can get in there. Sit that man down on a stool. Look how confused they are over there.
That's it, hon.
That's all.
Can't see over there, brother. How about I have a cut? This one has one finger to cut. This one's getting ready to cut.
Lewis Curtis. And that is it. Lewis Curtis, who looks like he is right out of a sci-fi movie. And the doctors come in, and apparently doctor recommended that they stop the fight, but here in D.C. a doctor cannot stop the fight, and the referee, it's in his hands, and he now waves it off. Ray Klingmeyer, on the advice of the doctors, has stopped the fight, and Lewis Curtis has lost his USBA flyweight championship to Pedro Feliciano.
Well, actually, Curtis said, I can still see. I'm okay. I can go on. But the doctor said, well, you're cut also on your right eye, and the left eye is getting ready to cut. Oh, that's a nasty-looking eye. It's real ugly. The left eye. The right eye has got about an 1/8 of an inch slice in it, but the bag problem is that left eye. So Lewis Curtis, Pedro Feliciano takes his title.
And we are ready now for the announcement. Pedro Feliciano comes into this fight with a record of 10-7 and wins the championship. But we mentioned before, so hard to get these flyweight fights. He has traveled to get his fights. He has been in wars, and now he has succeeded to win a championship. We're ready for the announcement, and here is our ring announcer, Tony Sybil.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stops the bout at the end of the 5th round on a technical knockout. The winner and new champion
has mastered the art of intimidation.
Yeah.
And he has that game face on, psychs himself up. Matter of fact, if you say hello to Argentini before a fight, don't expect him to say hello back. You may get a right cross.
He is very tense. He's a gladiator. He is so tense out there that it kind of scares me, because if he gets hit, being that tense, if he gets hit hard, he'll probably go down and maybe hurt. Fighters have got to learn to roll with the punches. When they get hit, they take the power out of the punch. Argentini knows only one direction, though. That's right straight ahead.
And later tonight, our main event, undefeated Buttons Kearney and knockout artist Jorge Maisonet. And that is coming up in our main event live. And down goes Staten. That fight may be coming up sooner than we thought. 49 seconds in, he is wobbling, and he may have broken his foot as he, unable to get to the corner, his right foot is completely twisted around. Oh my.
He did break his right foot. That's the first time I've ever seen a fighter get hit in the chin and break his foot.
Argentini trying to get a good look, and many of the fans here at the Blue Horizon turning away from that sight. Sterling Staten took that shot, went down, and the doctors quickly in the ring, and he is in great pain. And the doctors now dealing with Sterling Staten, who's being held tight by his trainer.
He may have caught the sewing on the ring mat. May have been what happened. He caught that on the side of his foot when he went down. His feet weren't exactly under him, and it just pulled his foot out of location and broke it.
So Chris Argentini, so Sean, but what you're basically saying, not actually the power from the punch, but the way he fell.
I think the power of the punch had a lot to do with it, because it put him down. It's the thing that made him fall. When he fell, I believe he fell on his foot.
All right, let's take a
look at it.
This is the punch.
Boom, right uppercut and then left hook. That left hook is probably what did it. It bent his leg back over his body.
So main event live, and down goes Staten. That fight may be coming up sooner than we thought. 49 seconds in, he is wobbling, and he may have broken his foot as he, unable to get to the corner, his right foot is completely twisted around. Oh my.
He did break his right foot. That's the first time I've ever seen a fighter get hit in the chin.
Main event live, and down goes Staten. That fight may be coming up sooner than we thought. 49 seconds in, our main event live, and down goes Staten. That fight may be coming up sooner than we thought. 49 seconds in, he is wobbling, and he may have broken his foot as he, unable to get to the corner, his right foot is completely twisted around. Oh my.
He did break his right foot. That's the first time I've ever seen a fighter get hit in the chin.
I want you to know something, Bob. I'm not afraid of you, Lennox, and we're going to get it on. I owe you one.
Okay.
You're not the man I thought you were. You lied on me. I thought we was cool.
Yo, bring it on, man.
Hey, I'm going to bring it.
I'm gonna bring you ain't nothing but a word. Brother Rodder was afraid of you.
I'm gonna knock you out.
You was a chump. You ain't gonna knock nothing out, bomb.
I'm gonna knock you out.
You ain't gonna knock nothing out.
You know I'm gonna knock you out.
You gonna knock nothing out. Why like you know and do it then? Do it then. You ain't do shit. I ain't never come off my feet. You're the champion. You had help from the rest. Well, knock me out. Knock me out then, bomb.
You ain't nothing to me, nigga.
Well, watch your mouth, sucker.
Hey, look, man, touch your mouth. You ain't nothing to me.
And now let's take a look at the road to the title.
A victory. And this was just another day in the world of boxing for you, wasn't it?
You know, I work hard at what I do, and as I told you yesterday, you know, field was the most important thing to me right now, but I'm looking forward to fighting Ray Mercer. If the chicken can have enough heart to, you know, come on through, you know.
All right, tell us in your words what has happened with the fight with Mercer.
Well, about 6 o'clock, you know, I'm resting and preparing for this fight, and my manager just finished, you know, the final deal, signing contracts and what have you. And I think an hour later, Mercer says his ankles and things are hurt.
All right, now the deal was signed there. There was a contract signed.
Yeah, boy.
Today. All right.
Today. And he says, you know, he's hurt, you know, but I think he's afraid. I mean, you know, I feel like I'm the best in the world, and his people agreed to the fight. I mean, let's get it on, you know. Let's prove to the public who's the best, you know. I'm willing to fight him by all means necessary.
All right, we'll pull in Mark Roberts in a little bit. Let's talk about, first of all, this fight at this point. I think Sean O'Grady made up for earlier picking Art Tucker over Riddick Bowe. He said you're going to knock Philip Brown out in the third round. What was transpiring until the third? You knew you weren't going to fight Bowe. Mercer, was that bothering you? Were you able to get it? Oh, he didn't know.
I didn't know. Someone just told me. I didn't tell him. You know, so again, I was just boxing field. I needed to work. You know, I don't mind going the distance, what have you. So I was trying to work with him, but you know, the opportunity presented itself, and I just figured, you know, might as well get him up out there. He told me to put three and four punch combinations together, and he should fall.
You looked much stronger tonight. Do you feel stronger than these other heavyweights?
I'm getting better and everything. I wish, again, they come on out and just, you know, let's give the public what they want. Let's fight, especially Ray Mercer.
And you're talking about Mercer?
Definitely. I'll tell you one thing, you know, I think the silver outshine the gold this time.
Now, I see you now as being able to compete with anybody in the heavyweight division. Are you trying to zero on Mercer, but anybody?
Well, you know,
there are other world champions.
Well, oh, that's true, but Mercer's been running off the lips lately, and I just want to shut his big mouth up, you know. He going around telling folks that I'm scared of him and what have you. Negative.
You think that fight can come back at a later date? I know the ankles are...
I'm hoping his ankles heal, his hands heal, and he stop running into trees and things and run into this big mat.
All right, right over here is the manager of Ray Mercer, Mark Roberts. And Mark, tell us your side of the story. What happened with this fight?
Well, the fight is on. We want to fight Riddick Bowe very bad. The fight's on.
The fight is not on. The fight may be on right now.
Fight's on. It's August the 9th. August the 9th. Ray Mercer's ankle, his left ankle's about twice the size of his right ankle. Right. Which will be confirmed.
That's his imagination.
You'll let me talk?
That's his imagination.
You'll let me talk?
That's his imagination.
I'm telling you to shut up.
Yes, he does.
I'm telling you to shut up.
I guess we do have the real main event coming up, folks. Mark, if you could hear me. When did the ankle injury occur?
2.5 weeks ago, but just today, there will be confirmed. The ankle injury will be confirmed by all the experts. The fight is on unless this man chickens out, like usual. Like he did in the Olympics.
They don't have a date. Okay. When you say the fight is on, do you mean August 9th?
I mean that this is a fight and the public wants to see it. The TVKO people want to see it. If this man is not going to chicken out, Ray Mercer will knock him out dead.
Mark, if he had the ankle injury, why did you negotiate this fight?
Today is the day it flared up, which will be confirmed to the point where the doctor, Leonard Jaffe of the New Jersey Devils, indicated the 9th, absolutely, the man would not be able to spar as of today, would not be able to run. He'd basically be fighting a one-ankled guy, which is only fights anyway. All he does is fight one arm.
If the ankle injury happened 2.5 weeks ago, how did it flare up now?
It was getting better. It was coming down. Okay, he hadn't run in 2 weeks. You want to fight a cripple like you fought tonight? What happened was, yesterday during sparring, it flared up a little bit. Today, it really flared up. We brought him to the doctor. We're going to fight this guy. Where's he going in September? We're going to fight another Phil Brown in September?
Okay.
Get it on in September.
All right, hold on. All right, now let's move over a little equal time. Rock, talk to
Phil
Sean.
Brown. You want to know who their last opponent was scheduled to be? J.B. Williamson. You
want to know what Ray Mercer did on the day of the fight? On the day of the fight, Ray Mercer pulled out of the J.B. Williamson fight, saying that he had an injury.
Like you're pulled out of this fight.
Then his coward manager. Get out. Then his coward manager.
All right. We may be back with another main event. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. This thing is stirring up, as you can see, and it will be continued. We'll return to USA's Tuesday night fights.
Then you have more of a chance of getting your face cut, like happened to Swindell.
What's your head touch?
Oh, but Swindell is very upset. Very upset.
And Dale Grable has stopped the fight, but now he's saying that Swindell asked him to stop it, which would mean Swindell loses the fight. Now, if it was just stopped because of the accidental headbutt, and this fight did not go half the rounds, it would have been a technical draw. Now Lou Duva is all over the referee, Dale Grable.
Everybody's mad. Well, Duva, as a fighter, you don't want to get a no contest or a no decision on your record, on your ledger. And I think that's what Lou thinks has happened here. I'm not sure if they're going to call this a no contest or if they're going to stop it.
And you came in and
well, right now we have not received official word on whether Frankie Swindell has waved the fight off or it was stopped by the referee.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
So let's see once again where that cut occurred. Now we receive information that the referee has stopped it, that Swindell didn't ask for it to be stopped. And there it is.
Kaboom. Oh, yeah. It was really an unintentional butt. Moore was trying to move in, and now this crowd is getting angry. People inside the ropes, they're upset. Duva's mad.
And I think the fight's actually only going to begin now.
Roy Bohannon.
Now, what are you reading into Lou Duva's displeasure? The headbutt appeared to be caused. Here's more.
Hey, man, quit being a bitch and take the defeat.
I think we should start the fight right now.
Turn it back over. Upset because he wanted for Moore to knock this man out or beat him over a 10-round period of time. Not going out there looking for the big knockout. And Frankie Swindell is mad because he thinks intentionally Michael Moore came in with his head and headbutted him. And the crowd wants another fight.
To sort this out, we'll have to talk to the particulars. Why was Lou Duva so upset? Why did Mora, who initiated the headbutt, have those words for Frankie Swindell? And let's find out how this fight actually goes in the books. Here's Wally Jackson.
Boxing fans, the red corner retires. Winner by TKO at 142 of the third round. Still undefeated, Michael Moorer.
Well, our initial understanding was correct. They say that Frankie Swindell retired. Said he had enough. And so Moorer is the winner. Moorer trying to extend his hand. And we may see the two again. There's a 180 right there. Although Frankie Swindell's corner wants nothing to do with Michael Moorer. Even Lou Duva and Frankie Swindell shaking hands.
Well, here's what happened. They're saying that Swindell just quit here's the headbutt. Coming in is Moore. And these southpaws come at you from different angles. Kaboom! There is the top of the head. No question about it. It was a headbutt. Moore was moving in. Moore was moving
a little bit, you know, and move and bob and weave, and it all went according to plan. I got a cut. I think it was at the end of the second round. And, you know, it wasn't a bad cut in my opinion, but then again, I can't see the cut. It wasn't affecting my fighting. And
let's take a look at the fourth round, and why don't you take us through lasted about the last minute and a half.
Right here, I'm just kind of stalking him. He was getting tired really fast, and the body work is my game plan. You can see I'm working the body real well here. You know, he was getting tired. His hands were coming down. He was trying to intimidate me by you know, speaking to me. And
what was he saying to you?
Oh, just come on, boy. Come on, white boy. You know, he's a racist. You know how Larry Holmes is, and he was saying that racist shit, you know. See, I'm still stalking him.
Did you ever have a problem with the blood getting into your eye and seeing?
Not at all. That's why I was kind of surprised. I thought it was sweat. And when the referees had the fight stopped, you know, I was really surprised.
Your game plan was turning right about this point, wasn't it?
It was. You know, he was getting tired. I felt stronger, and it's a shame I was winning the fight. You know, I thought he was ahead when they stopped the fight, but I was turning the tides. This was a 10-round fight. You know.
No problems at all from the cut. You didn't even
I mean, obviously he
blood.
Not at all. No. I thought it was sweat. In fact.
Obviously, he was taking you lightly.
What are you at for this stuff I'm doing? I'm bad. He know I'm bad.
Obviously, Larry, who's just joined us, took you lightly in the beginning, standing flat-footed in the first round.
Well, he's old. That's all he can do now, you know?
I'm old, but I whoop your butt. That's what it is.
Yeah, he's got a hard head. That's what it is.
Yep, you're right. You need
walnut-shaped head.
You need. I shook your hand. I shook your hand. I don't have no hard feelings. Get back to this. Hey, man, I don't feel like...
Look, Larry, wait a second. Let's take a look right now. Why don't you zoom in tight? Let's see the cut, because you can see that this is a fairly serious cut.
Man,
and you can tell from here.
I gave you a break. You fought a legend.
There was a look at the cut.
One of the greatest fighters of all time.
Did you sense that cut, and did you go after it?
Did you? Go ahead.
No, I hit the cut whenever I wanted to. My jab's working. I throw the left hook every now and then. I hit him with right hands every now and then. I'm getting ready for bigger and better things. I'm just showing you that the heavyweight contender out there today cannot fight. That's why I did that. I don't know this guy from Adam. My hands were down on the side to show him that whatever he had to offer, I was able to take it, but he had to be able to take what I got to offer.
Champ, did he make you upset when he was talking to you, when he was taunting at you at the first of the fight?
That's part of the game, Sean. I've been in it 25 years, 20 years as a professional. I got mad at it because when I clinched him, he was holding the head down and hit me in the back of the head. And I said, don't do that. I said, I'm not doing that to you.
Hit me back of the head.
Now, you know what you're doing.
Help me.
Why don't you be a man about it?
Man, I would have went on fighting. I would have went on. I would have knocked your ass out.
Then look, I want you to know, I want all the viewers here on USA to know, Larry Holmes is very rich. I didn't need to fight this fight for Trump money. You understand? I got more, bigger and better things to worry about than worry about you. If you win, you win. I shake your hand. I don't have no hard feelings with you. I want to shake your hand now to let you know that I have no hard feelings. You know,
Rocky Papelli, listen, congratulations. Good showing there in the early rounds of the fight. Disappointing loss, I know.
Like I say, I respect Larry Holmes, you know. I do. He was an idol of mine growing up. I just, you know, anybody hates to lose this way. And the heat of the action, you know how things get heated up, you know. But
it ain't about
personalities. As a man, you know, I respect the man, you know. But I just hate to lose like this.
You don't
Why don't you go get that eye taken care of?
You don't respect me. You come out throwing kisses.
We'll be back with more after this controversial fight stoppage. And a kiss from Rocky Papelli. Things on the edge of getting out of hand here in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Back in a moment with more.
Sowerby, who we've seen before, very lenient, was ready to ask Collins if he wanted to continue, and it was the big right that started it.
The combination, against those left-handed fighters, you throw in combinations because the one punch won't hit them. And here they are. Bing, bing, bing. Look at all these shots. Now, right here, Ron Collins is defenseless. Look at his hands. Good call by the referee. He stepped in and pulled Tyrone Trice, or Trice would have hit him 6 more times.
I think the referee was just as physical with Trice as Trice is as physical with Collins.
And he should have been. Look at these punches. Right here, Ron Collins is out on his feet. He's there to absorb as many punches as Trice could throw, and Trice was throwing them. Look at the hands of Ron Collins down by his waist. Very dangerous, a scary situation.
Could the referee been in even sooner?
Yeah, he could have, but I think he made the right call. He let it go long enough for the hands to come down. When he saw those hands down, Joe Sowerby said, that's enough, I'm going in there, and he did.
At 161, it's the heaviest that Trice has ever weighed. A smashing success in his second middleweight fight. Let's get the official time now as we go to the ring in Wally Jackson.
Our referee, Joe Sowerby, stops this contest at 1 minute 36 seconds of the very first round. Winner by TKO, Tyrone Trice.
Tyrone Trice. There was a mixed reaction to his announcement before the fight, and he has certainly swayed the crowd.
Middleweight title. Gerald McCullum had a heart problem. He didn't want to fight me, so I fought this young man here. But I'm making a $50,000 bet with James Toney that I will knock him out in less than 10 rounds anytime he wants it.
Well, he had the crowd for a matter of minutes. Challenging James Toney, who of course is a Detroit fighter.
Any other middleweight.
And Toney is here at ringside. Matter of fact, Toney is now coming into the ring. And he will have equal time.
Bring your ass, Tyrone. We can get busy right now.
Tony said we can do it right now, right here.
Well, we won't have any arguments about that. Tony, who is the IBF champion, he has a date, the rematch with Mike McCallum coming up. Unfortunately, Joe Sowerby, the referee, is not into this. He apparently is the only one who is not. Now, if they get it on, does USA have to pay a fee for Tony? So James Toney, who we saw grow up right here on USA, and now the middleweight champion, IBF version, takes on the challenge of Tyrone Trice. And whatever happened to Ron Collins? Tony takes the long walk, and you know what? When we come back, we're going to talk.
Professional move by Rahman there, but he still doesn't have his legs.
Come on, get up. Come on, get out. Come on, let's go.
One of the questions in some fights about Rahman has been his stamina.
Right hand puts Rahman on the floor right next to me. Right next to me. Right next to me.
And he doesn't look like he's going to get up.
No, he isn't. He's not going to get up anytime soon. Let's just be sure we can make room for medical personnel. And Dr. Polito is right here.
He may have landed on his head.
He did, Larry. I tried my best to prevent it, but was unable to stop him from landing on his head. Let's get this out of the way. Dr. Dominic Coletto right here with Rahman.
There is a battle royal going on out here in the crowd.
The doctor is asking The Rock if he knows where he is, and he does. He's answering the questions correctly. He knows the round. He knows the opponent. But he went through the ropes, across the table, onto the floor. Harold, is there a rule that needs to be cited here?
Jim, let me tell you, you got 20 seconds when you get knocked through the ropes like that. 20 seconds unassisted by your own people. He didn't get through in 20 seconds. I think Oleg Maskayev wins this fight by a knockout. That's all there is to it.
I have to assume that's going to be the call.
I'll tell you what, he was not going to get back there either because he was out from that one punch.
Yes, I believe so. That was a shot.
We don't know if any ruling has been made, but they're lifting Maskayev up.
Well, the overwhelming concern was about Rahman's safety and his condition after he came flying through the ropes, across the scorer's table, right past my monitor and onto the floor, inches away from me. I did the best I could with one hand to try to break his fall, but it was impossible, given the momentum of this big man. The CompuBox table has gone down behind us as well. Now Rock is up. Rock was courageously trying to survive the round without any legs.
Yeah,
and there's the shot.
Yes, that was over. That fight was done with right there. I hate to say it, but that fight was done with.
He had already survived about a minute of the round with no legs, Roy.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why you know that punch right there was it. And that's what I mean when I was telling Larry about taking chances. That really was a chance that he should not have taken.
And you see, that's your reporter leaning in from the top of the screen there, and that's Dr. Dominic Coletto. What an amazing statement on Coleto's alertness. He was there within seconds after Rockman hit the floor.
With a wild melee breaking out in the back of this convention hall auditorium, the police are there in force and seem to be making some order out of that chaotic moment and a half.
And we have no idea, of course, what prompted that combat, as our attention was diverted by the situation